Welcome back to Buckmore Park. We're closing the 2015 Easykart season out with the Masters class, and Joe Patterson came into this round as the championship leader, just 3 points ahead of Sam Dimolo after dropped scores were taken into account. But that might not have been the case if the event at Rowrah had not been cancelled in favour of a double header at Wilton Mill, as Joe Patterson himself explains.
We had a bad round at Landau. We driving error really, and a bit of coming together with whoever what driver it was, but we cut the chicane and we didn't give enough places back, which is obviously my fault, but obviously racing mode you forget about that. So I got disqualified from the final. So really the championship was over. Before I went to the wedding, obviously I saw on the internet that Rowrah was cancelled, which obviously fell in my favour thanks to I don't know, John, whoever decided that at the time. So then after that, the championship was still on, we could still do it, and then we went back to Gleneagles and came back in a winning style, winning all the races. So we held our championship and then moved to the double header, which was obviously the cancellation, and done well on a Saturday, but didn't all go my way on a Sunday. But we're still 3 points clear. Strong yesterday, looking good today hopefully, so just try and keep Sam behind me, but Sam's going to get up a good fight. He's a good driver, so yeah, so it's just a matter of keeping in front of him.
Sam, second in the championship behind Joe. We've already spoken to Joe this morning. He's convinced he's going to win today and the championship. What are your views?
I don't think Joe should be so confident. I think it's going to be a lot tougher than he thinks it's going to be. Hopefully I can bring it to him.
Won it the last 2 years, I want to go for the third championship in a row. E-plate, if I win that as well, that's a bonus, but nah, main priority is beating the drivers and beating the top man on the table at the end of it, have number one on the cart.
And going back to the wedding, would you have missed the wedding to compete at Rowrah, or would you have, what was the choice on that?
Nah. At the end of the day, I could do karting whenever I want, but family, I'm a family man, comes first, and my sister is obviously my only sister. Hopefully, it's the only time she gets married, but I wouldn't have missed a wedding. One is my sister's wedding, and obviously I was best man, so I couldn't miss it.
So the last race in the Easykart UK season 2015 is the Masters. Joe Patterson on pole position from Kieran Gordon, with Sam Dimolo and Roland Bredner on row 2. Lawrence and Pittingale, Fisher and Richardson. And then on row 5 it's Tim Hill and Ben Yeomans. We do have a championship fight on our hands here, but as you'll see, it's not quite as close as the spectators would have liked it to be. Joe Patterson, after having a win in the heat and the pre-final, now needs just 15th place to guarantee his championship victory. It's not quite over and done with yet, but Sam Dimolo needs to pull a Kimi Räikkönen if he wants to get this championship won. So, here we go. Oh, contact in the hairpin! That is the 9 that's gone around to Mark Lawrence, and there's a few drivers that have clattered into him on the way through. Let's have a look. Lawrence has come in. I think he's just got a tiny bit of a nudge there from the 2-1-4 of Ben Yeomans, and that's pitched him around. It wasn't intentional, he just got a little bit too close in the braking zone, but there's the confirmation. Look, Joe Patterson has had 2 pre-final victories so far this year and 3 final wins. He comes in very much the favourite. He has to finish at least 15th to win the championship. Now on paper, that seems pretty straightforward, but this is British karting. One thing I've learnt in 3 years of commentating on the British karting scene, you cannot count yourself champion until you've crossed that checkered flag, that finish line. Sam Dimolo, he won the final at the first round. He's still very much in contention. He just has to keep the faith, keep digging. And, well, at the moment, in 3rd position, he needs to hope for a mechanical problem for Joe Patterson, but we've seen it before in the last 3 seasons in various different categories and championships. It's not over till the fat lady sings. She is warming up the vocal cords right now for Joe Patterson, but there's still a long way to go. There's Ben Yeomans in 5th, chasing down Roland Bredner. We know he went into the back of Lawrence, but what we don't know is whether he was loaded from behind. We didn't really see that on the first lap, so let's give Ben the benefit of the doubt for now. Patterson's still your leader. Gordon in 2nd, Dimolo 3rd, from Bredner, Yeomans, Pittingale, the 3-times world champion, Fisher and Adam Nichols. Then it's Friday, Churchill, and just behind him is Sean Port. Dimelo working his magic, trying to move up into second position. This is Roland Bredner's first race of the year. He was sixth in last year's championship, hence why he carries the sixth plate. But this is actually his first race of the 2015 season, and he couldn't really have picked a better circuit to do his one and only round of the championship, the E-plate round at Buckmore Park. Kieran Gordon, though, second place, stands between Dimelo and a genuine crack at Patterson. Gordon won the final at round 7 and the pre-final at round 4, so he knows how to win, but does he have enough in the tank to close up on Joe Patterson, who is the one plate holder and the E-plate holder, don't forget. And if he wins again, well, he's won the championship and the E-plate all in the same round yet again, as he did last year, of course. There's Nichols tucked up behind the 2-3-3. Oh, that's Yeomans! Yeomans is pulling off! Ben Yeomans out of the race here, and it looks as though someone else has gone with him, one of the back markers, but Yeomans is out of the race from P5. Now, that means that Adam Nichols in the 140, currently tucked up behind Sam Fisher, now needs 4th position or better in this race to secure 5th position in the championship. So it's all on Adam Nichols now, with Yeomans going to score very low compared to his rival. He's now going to have to work hard here. So out in front, still looking like a champion in waiting, Joe Patterson, with Gordon and Dimelo, still no change. Bredner is now 4th, Pittingale is up to 5th position, and Adam Nichols is trying his best to work further forward through the field, but it's not happening yet, and he's really going to have to, again, just see what happens in front of him rather than work his way through the field. He's not making massive progress at the moment. So Patterson still out in front. He's just cruising at this stage, isn't he? He doesn't need to push the cart too hard here. And of course, all the drivers on this grid are going to be now thinking about how on earth do we beat this guy in the 2016 season? He was so strong last year, so strong this year. What do I, as a driver, and what do me and my folks as a crew need to do to overhaul this guy? He is just a one-man domination streak. Look at the gap he's got. Even in the early stages of this race, he's not even pushing that hard out in front, but he is just masterclass compared to the rest of the field. Gordon and Dimelo still pretty much stalemate in the battle for second and third, but look, there's a massive gap back to the leader, and there is not much either of them can do about it, as great a pair of talents as they are. And Patterson very much large and in charge, and we like to tease John Viger just a little bit about the comments he made at the start of the season, stating that there's no way that Joe Patterson will win the championship in 2015. Well, John, you might want to rephrase that just a little bit. And I have to say, if anybody wants to know what's going to happen in the 2016 season, just take the opposite of whatever John Viger says. Then that's exactly what's going to happen. So Gordon in front of Dimelo. I'm being slightly harsh there to John Viger. We're not entirely sure he actually said word for word he's not going to win the championship. We like to twist and paraphrase just the tiniest bit. Why not? It's a good bit of fun, a good bit of banter in the paddock, and it will make John look a little bit nervous going into the 2016 season. He needs to watch what he says in future. We certainly will be. So Gordon in front of Dimelo, still, as it were, in the battle for second and third position. 4th position, trying his best to get into the battle, having got past Roland Bredner, his 3-time former world champion Barnaby Pittingale. And I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to make an early bird prediction for the 2016 season. If anybody's going to be able to take the fight consistently, round by round, to Joe Patterson next year, I'm going to stick my neck out on the line and say it's Barnaby Pittingale. Class is undeniable, and his class is absolute. He is a brilliant racing driver, full of pedigree, full of talent and ability, and he always seems to have that ability to get himself out of a hard place in fine fettle. So that's the guy I'm tipping for 2016 success. Mind you, there's at least 2 or 3 other guys who could take the challenge to Joe Patterson consistently next year. That man, Kieran Gordon, he's been very strong this year. When the ingredients have been right, he has been right there on the verge of success and greatness. He is perfect at it when it all comes together. So again, consistency when everything is the right winning formula. He's got the chance to do that. So hopefully we'll see him challenging closer to Patterson. And what about his challenger for this year? That man through the picture, Sam Dimelo. Yes, he's not really going to have much of a chance to win this championship this year unless we suddenly see Joe Patterson falter, and we know that everybody in the 237 camp is crossing their fingers rather cruelly to see if that actually happens. but I do genuinely rate Dimelo as a competitor. He's very talented, very quick. He's got the right mentality. He never ever surrenders, never ever gives up, and that's what you need as a talented racing driver. That man even, Roland Bredner, it's only his first race weekend of the season, tucked up behind Barnaby Pittingale, but look at what he's done in this one round. If he puts together a full-time campaign next year, there's every chance he could have a go at Joe Patterson's crown. And what about the man who hasn't really had the greatest of seasons? That man there, Carl Churchill, the number 3. Again, he's the 3-plate last year for a reason. He put together a very good program last year, good performances all the way through 2014. This year, the luck hasn't really been there. But if he's going to get it back together for the 2016 season, and the kart and he are as good as they both deserve to be next year, none of the other drivers on that grid will see which way he went. So hopefully we'll get to see a bit of a resurgence in form from Carl Churchill next year. There's your man going through the shot, still trying to get that championship, Sam Dimelo. It's such a shame that the championship has gone the way it has for Sam. He was so strong at the first round of the championship. Don't forget, of course, he won that round of the championship, having gone off at the first corner, effectively, at Cafe, and dropping to the very back of the field. Did that deter him? Did that stop him in his charge? No, if anything, it spurred him on to do an even better job. He charged through from the back of the field to the front in what I still consider, even now, as the finest drive in Easykart this year. So Sam Dimelo definitely has the potential to take on Patterson in a straight fight next year, and a lot of us are hoping that over the winter they find that secret formula to unlock Joe Patterson's dominant streak. That's what we're all hoping secretly. We want a much closer title fight going into next year. The only person who doesn't, of course, is Joe Patterson. He quite likes being out in front by quite a long margin. These two, Pittingale and Bredner, still scrapping away over 4th position, but importantly enough for Pittingale, there is daylight between the two. The closest fight is actually this little scrap at the moment for 6th position, which is being led by Adam Nichols. He has fought his way up to 6th position. That's close to getting that 5th position in the Drivers' Championship, but crucially, at the moment, as it stands, it's not quite close enough. He needs to find a little bit more and hope that there's a little bit of thrill and spill action in front of him. But I don't think Dimelo is quite close enough even to Kieran Gordon. I suppose the only potential for that, as far as Adam Nichols is concerned, you just saw them in the background as Joe Patterson went through, battling away for that 6th position. The only potential is if Pittingale and Bredner come to blows. Don't really see that happening, though. They're not quite as close as Bredner would like. Here they are. Bredner through the first turn, but this is the battle for 6th position. Adam Nichols in front of the 233 of Sam Fisher, who has currently got the 170 right on his tail. That is George Friday, still trying to move up into the top 6. He's there in 8th position at the moment, still giving Fisher some headaches. Carl Churchill 9th behind them. Missed the last 3 rounds of the championship. Unfortunately for him, even before that, this hasn't really been the season to ride home about. And don't forget, of course, that Carl Churchill was actually leading at the very first round of the championship at Shennington when mechanical problems put him out at Cafe. So this season could have been very, very different for Carl. He could have had a championship run if he had everything worked together for him this season. But again, it's just not gone his way. Hopefully the luck will change over the winter and we'll see a Carl Churchill resurgence into the 2016 season. We want to see that as well from the likes of Jim Rainbird and Mark Lawrence, both of whom seem to have bad luck written through them like Blackpool Rock this year. It's been a very difficult season for a lot of the drivers who should have taken this man on. But the only man who's really been able to get close consistently is Sam Dimelo, and even now he's really got his back to the wall in terms of trying to beat Patterson, who's got a kart in perfect rhythm, perfect fettle, no issues at the moment. We're in the closing stages of the race, and pretty much an earthquake is the only thing now that can stop Joe Patterson's run to victory. Through the right hairpin and through to the left, Kieran Gordon still controlling that 2nd position. I've been quite impressed with this actually in 2nd place. Gordon has looked very consistent. He hasn't got out of rhythm at any stage in this race. It's been pretty much bulletproof, his defence of 2nd position. Dimelo's not even been able to get close to him to try and take it away. So as much as you want to praise Joe Patterson for dominating out in front, spare a thought for Kieran Gordon in 2nd place. He's been absolutely unshakable in 2nd place. When there's a championship fight to be won here with 5 to go, Dimelo still has an outside chance if anything happens to Joe Patterson. And fair play and full credit to Kieran Gordon. He has not let up for a moment. He's even got a for sale sign on the side of his kart. So I suppose that would possibly suggest maybe this is Kieran Gordon's last race in the class. It's going to be one of the worst kept secrets in Easykart UK history if he announces that he's moving on from the class at the end of the race, because there's a massive great sign on the side of his cart that lets us know. So still, Dimolo trying to close him down, and nothing Kieran Gordon can do about the race leader Joe Patterson either. So it's still stalemate at the top three. Look at this guy out in front, 4 to go, and he is just absolutely cruise control at the moment. It's like watching Alain Prost in a go-kart right now. He's got so much speed, consistency and rhythm, but it's that ultimate adage, isn't it? When you look slow, but you're dominating out in front, you're actually as fast as you can possibly be. It's wonderful to watch, and he's got such perfect rhythm at the moment. Here's the battle for 4th, Pittingale and Bredner, and still 6th is Adam Nichols, trying to close these two down. If he can pass them both, then he will get 5th position in the championship with Ben Yeomans out of the race. But it doesn't look as though that's going to happen at the moment. 3 to go as Patterson crosses the line. That just shows you how far up the road he is compared to this battle for 6th position. I have to say, watching these 3 for 6th, Friday is starting to look quite racy now behind Fisher. This is the point in the race where if you're in a train like that, you need to go for the move now. You're running out of laps and you want to be as far up that queue as is physically possible. So if anybody's going to make a sweet move, keep an eye on Fisher or Friday. But this man out in front, he's so far ahead that he could get out the car, have a cup of tea, get back in and still be crowned the champion. Even if he didn't win the race, he is that far out in front, and Friday makes the move up the inside of Fisher into paddock. Now that is not the easiest overtaking point on the circuit. One of the great things about the Buckmore Park circuit is there are some very technical parts of the track where you can make an overtaking move where you probably wouldn't go for it anywhere else. And that's a very brave manoeuvre at this stage of the race for Friday, and he made it work perfectly. So a good overtake there to move him up into 7th position just behind Adam Nichols. Nice work. So, just a lap and a half to go here at Buckmore Park. These two still unable to do anything about Joe Patterson, who makes his way through Senna, up Herbert Rise, and he is about to begin the final lap on what is going to be an E-Plate victory and a championship victory, all in one moment. Now Friday is trying to drop Fisher and close up on Nichols. That will just add insult to injury as far as Adam Nichols is concerned, to try and get the top 5 in the championship. But this man out in front, Joe Patterson, fastest lap, 39.908, is still the quickest lap. He's still one of only 2 drivers to break the 40-second barrier in this race, and he is still absolutely dominant. John Viger, if you need a knife and fork and a paper plate to eat your words later on, go find Joe Patterson in the paddock, because he will be more than happy to oblige. Out of Herbert Rise for the last time, through the Cafe Curve, and it's going to be a victory on the Sisley Straight for the dominant Joe Patterson. He has absolutely blitzed the field today. Gordon in 2nd, Dimolo in 3rd. Hard luck for Dimolo, worked so hard to try and get that championship off him. It was close coming into the round, it certainly isn't now. Victory for Patterson from Gordon and Dimolo, with Pittingale beating Bredner to the line in 4th and 5th. Nichols in 6th place from Friday ahead of Fisher. Carl Churchill 9th, and Neil Fisher rounding out the top 10. But Joe Patterson is the E-Plate holder and champion again as John Viger prepares his defence.
I just want to talk about, yes, I was interviewed by these people at the beginning of the season at Shennington, and I said, look, what I said was that Joe Patterson's really got his championship to fight for this year, because there's a lot of big names coming into championship. But it was the commentator that actually said that I said you wouldn't win it. Is that's true, isn't it? Please help me out.
Don't know. Well, yeah, you said what you said, but I know he's spurring it up a bit. But you did say about saying eating a hat. Is that right?
I may have said I'll eat my hat. Did I say that? I can't remember saying that, but hey, listen, I do have to say, listen, I can't praise you enough, though, Joe. You did. It was a tougher season this season. I think you've got to admit that, haven't you?
Yeah. Obviously, all the guys have moved up. Barney, he's been a strong end of the season. Sam's been there, and then Kieran as well been there. Adam, it's like 6 drivers, 7. Well, everyone really, and Yeomans. But we just, I don't know, we've got it together really. Obviously, me and John, good team together. Obviously, the 2 years was obviously easy, but now it's been harder. We've won the season again, won the championship again. So, is that because we're good, or I don't know? But I'm happy, really. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, yeah, no, absolutely. I just wanted to get that in. Yes, the competition was tougher this year, and that's what I was trying to talk about before I eat my hat, everybody. But no, but now it's time to praise you, Joe, because honestly, you've taken it on. Taking it on the chin, the comments that were maybe made at the start of the season, you've knuckled down, and yes, you have got a great team in your mechanic, John, and I think he deserves as much praise as well as you're getting, but you're the one out there on the track, and you have been fantastic this year, I have to say. So all I can say is, well done indeed, Joe Patterson. You are the champion, you're double champion as well, and I will indeed eat my hat. Well done, Joe Patterson.
Lovely, cheers, thank you.
Well done, mate, well done. Well done, mate.
Once again, a great Easykart Masters season comes to a close with Ben Yeomans and Barnaby Pittingale just missing out on the top three. Kieran Gordon getting that bronze medal position, Sam Dimolo in second place, but Joe Patterson once again large and in charge on the top step. That's it for the 2015 season. For more information and to find out how you can get on the grid, head to the Easykart website. See you next year.